record. Recording. Okay, so it is May 31st, the last team call of May, last day of May. Tomorrow's a brand new month, which is really exciting. New months feel good. They feel clean. They feel fresh with a nice new start. You know, it's a new month to do whatever you feel like you didn't get to do this month. So I think the great thing about how we do our business, you know, on a rolling monthly cycle is you have a new opportunity every first to start over and, you know, set your intentions and decide what you want to do for the month and then execute it, you know, and just do the dang thing, and that's it. So June is a big month. So Monday, few things on Monday. The app launches for 2B Mindset. Isn't it Monday? Is Monday the 4th or the 3rd? 4th. Yeah. So Sunday the discount ends on 2B Mindset packs. So the $20 that's currently in place right now is gone. So everything goes up $20. So $119, $180, and $220. Which honestly, the $220 is still a great deal because you're still getting a bag of Shakeology for $20. So that still is really awesome. If they bundle 2B and BOD, then they get Shakeology for $20. So that's actually still awesome. It's free right now, which is even better, but $20. You know, and something that really has been effective in the 3.5 years that I've been a coach is sometimes just giving someone a $10 gift card, a $15 gift card, you know, helps them to commit to that package. You know, it's a little bit out of your commission, but you're able to lock the client in, you know, help them. We know that BOD is an awesome resource. Shakeology is obviously amazing. And now 2B Mindset has just been so great already. So it's a great way to get them committed to something that's really going to help them achieve their goals. It gets you your 2 Success Club points, which is great. And then, you know, it's a little gift back to the customer. So that's something to think about sometimes. If you have someone that's kind of on the fence and price is a big concern of theirs, then that's always an incentive that you can throw in just to kind of to help them out. So so that's happening Sunday night. So Sunday is the last day of that. Monday, the app launches for iPhone only, so iOS only, no Android, no plan for Android at this point. The same thing happened with BOD. When the BOD app launched, we had no date for Android as well, and I want to say it took a good minute. It took like 7 months, I feel like, to get the Android app once the iOS one launched. So maybe the same thing's going to happen with 2B. There's literally no information. But here's the great thing. People have been testing this program for like 1.5 years, and they've all been doing it without an app. So the app is not going to make or break success. It's just a great additional resource for people with iOS. So, you know, I've been asking my 2B people if they have iPhone or Android, just so I can let them know. If they say iPhone, oh great, you have an app that's coming. So that's coming on Monday. And then also on Monday, which I'm super pumped about, you guys, Lift 4 is going to be sneak peeked on demand. Here's the great thing with this. And this is something you can talk about with people this weekend. It's not going to require a free trial membership or BOD access. They can literally go on to Beachbody On Demand and just trial it. It's just going to be there. So they don't have to sign up, you know, for the 14-day trial or anything. Lift 4 will just be there to try out. So that's really, really cool because sometime in June, I think it's the 16th or something like that, the Lift 4 packs are going to go on sale and they're going to be $10 off. So it's essentially all access, right? But they're going to have kind of like they did with 80-Day Obsession with the Mega and the Deluxe, where you can bundle in the Recovery and the Energize and all of that. But all of those packs are going to be $10 off for Lift 4 people. So that's pretty cool that we'll be able to try it on Monday too. Like, I'm super pumped for them, but I'm super pumped for us. I'm like, yay, we get to try Lift 4. It's really cool. Joel went live in the Champions page a couple times this week talking about the program. And it's really cool, you know, 4 days a week, 40 minutes max. It's a great combo apparently of weight training and high intensity training, which is why the Lift has 2 eyes in it. He's trying to play off of HIIT, which I thought was kind of cute. So it's going to be a good program. Monday's a sneak peek for that. What else is happening? Oh, Monday's the launch for 80-Day Obsession with the Today Show, which is pretty cool. So that's a supplemental group that's going to be, it's actually already open. It's open group. Like, there's no requirements. Really, I don't even think there's a requirement to like prove you have 80-Day Obsession. Like, literally people can just join it. So it's kind of cool because people who submit their progress photos in that group might be featured on the show. That's kind of rad. Like, that'd be super awesome if one of our people got featured on there. So cool. So that's, kind of fun just for people to know, hey, I'm part of something that's really big, so I've been talking about that a little bit. It's not an extra incentive per se, but it's just it's cool to be part of it. So that kicks off on Monday. I know Autumn is actually going to be on the Today Show on Monday morning. So check out our girl and support her, and it's really cool for her. It's a great, great business achievement. So exciting for her for that. So lots of stuff going on. Obviously, Coach Summit is 3 weeks from today, which is awesome. Yay. And, if Jenna changes her mind and decides to join us, we still have room in our hotel room. So that's still an open invite. Or anybody else that watches this call and wants to come, we do still have hotel room open. Our hotel is super cheap. The Summit ticket did go up in price. So, it's a little bit more, but it's a business write-off. So, that's what that is. And then, of course, airfare is a write-off as well. So that is on the 21st. Is it the 21st? Kicks off 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, I think.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's happening. And then I think that's it. June is big. There's a lot of things happening in June. So July, just to look ahead, is going to be our quarterly event. So we'll have a Super Saturday weekend in July. So from my understanding, there is none planned in Tampa between our executive team here. So I expect that Gina and I will probably try to run another one. We're not as green this time, so we'll have a little bit more fun doing it this time, so we know what we're doing. So I don't know what's going up where you guys are, Adrian and Kim, but I think that's the second week of July or something like that. Second weekend of July.
I'm surprised Bonnie's not doing it.
I think it's because they both just had babies. They just don't want to commit to something big.
Yep. They're both baby people.
Yep. And Lindsay, she's probably going to have a baby this week. So,
Well,
and she's not going to Summit for the first time in 8 years. She's
this
week. So, yeah. So lots
That's
of stuff.
what she's due then.
So tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about curiosity marketing. Obviously, that's kind of the way to do things nowadays. Social media has changed drastically. Hey, Jocelyn, can we hear you now?
Yay!
Yay!
I can hear you. Dang.
So social media has changed drastically. Honestly, especially in the last 2.5 to 3 years, there's been a really big swing in how we can leverage social media for our businesses. I think with the influx of all of these different direct sales companies, and unfortunately a lot of people being just really kind of salesy and slimy with it all, it's just we've had to take a different approach. And I really, I think our business is so special because we do provide something that's very different from a lot of other businesses. They provide a product, we provide a service, we provide an experience. So it's something completely different than just, hey, I'm going to call up my girl when I need a new tube of my mascara. Like, we're there with our people every day, so it's just a different thing that we offer, and it's very special. So we set ourselves apart in that way already, where we're not the typical multi-level marketing. We're more like multi-level relations, MLRs. But we still have to recognize, that social media is what it is, and we have to roll with the times. Everybody in here, minus Jenna, just because she's brand new to the team, is part of Social Team Builder, which is a great. It's an extra service. It is an investment in your business, but it's the gentleman that runs this training shows you how to leverage your business page and do ads and things like that to really use your social media in a way that engages your audience, shows you how to share your story, all of that kind of stuff. So a lot of us have a lot of experience with that. And then I think just because curiosity marketing's kind of been the thing for the last year or so, we've had to break some habits. Us old ducks have had to break some habits. No more product dropping, and it doesn't feel good, but it's what we were doing. So we had to kind of break out of that habit and move forward and just be more this is what's going on kind of thing. Like, ask me questions about it versus here's all this information, I'm just going to shove it in your face and hopefully you'll take a bite, So it's kind of fun in a sense because it lets you be a storyteller. It lets you share what's going on with you, what's happening between your ears. You can kind of talk about the things that you're doing without, having to put a bunch of features and benefits out there. So it lets people come to you, which might maybe take a little bit longer. I don't know if that's really true, if it takes a little bit longer, but at least you know when people do ask you questions, they're genuinely interested. So that's kind of nice. You're not chasing, you know, you're attracting. So that's the whole purpose. So does anybody have an example of something that they've seen either within our team or the network and full, or even outside of Beachbody, that was a great example of curiosity marketing that they could share? I know that's putting everybody on the spot, but if there's anyone that you can think of to describe and give an example of, that'd be great. Nada. I will say that I think the network's been really good about the 2B mindset and just showcasing. Some people are still using the name, and it is what it is. Old habits die hard. But I think it's changed a lot with this particular program launch, and I've noticed a lot of people are just talking about, you know, hey, this new nutrition program, we're focusing on, you know, lots of water and basically, you know, making sure we're getting our vegetables before anything else. So that's kind of a great example of curiosity marketing, because you're just talking about what you're doing and you're doing it. So it's not like you're like, oh, let me talk about this thing that I'm not even, you know, part of, especially if you are doing 2B mindset, obviously, you know, you're doing it firsthand. So, and it gets people interested. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is that program or product that you're talking about, that you're seeing, you know, success with? So just kind of talking about basic stuff that is with the program. Same with 80 Day Obsession. It was hard to not drop the name, because you're talking about an 80-day program that you're doing, and a lot of people can take the hint. But, you know, I think to avoid the name dropping constantly is still a good thing. You know, hey, I'm doing this, you know, program with Time Nutrition, and I'm focusing on weightlifting or whatever else, you know, and just kind of, just kind of show it in a way that that lets people ask questions about what's going on. So does anybody else have an example that they can share? Because I'm going to mute myself really quick.
I will say that if you follow, can you hear me? I don't know if I came off of mute because my husband was yelling at the kids, so I had to put myself on mute. Lindsay and Bonnie were actually doing a good thing when she just first had the baby and stuff. So they were showing different recipes that they cooked from the 2B mindset, and they brought out how they got the recipe from their new nutrition program. So that's a good way to kind of showcase it without doing the name drops and stuff. So.
I'll say that Jocelyn does a really good job with this. She's constantly sharing about what she's doing. She did the same thing with 80 Day Obsession. As difficult as it is not to say 80 Day Obsession or, you know, this and that and this and that. Like, Jocelyn was always really awesome about, this was what my workout was today. It was, you know, booty day, and we're halfway through this 80-day journey, and I'm focusing on my nutrition and all these, and these are the results that I'm seeing, that kind of stuff. So curiosity marketing is basically just sharing enough to pique people's interest so that they ask you questions. And again, it's such a better way to do business, because it's not chasing and it's not shoving, and there's nothing that feels more like blah than that, you know? So just to really authentically share what's going on with what you're doing. And even like with the products, you know, it's okay to occasionally drop, you know, Shakeology or whatever, just every single day, like we all used to do with our cup, like, Shakeology, this is what I'm doing right now. And everybody was doing the same thing, you know, and it didn't work anymore. So to talk about it from like this is what this is doing for me perspective versus this is what I'm doing, you know, this is what I'm drinking, this is the name of it, and all these 800 features of what it is, you know, and all of its amazing glory. It just takes the sales pressure off, and it's really just you sharing what you're doing and what you're finding that works for you. And I think the great thing about curiosity marketing too is that it doesn't really give you any room to pretend, you know. You can't share what's not actually happening. So I see some things sometimes from some people, not necessarily always in our company, but others. And I'm just like, okay, the thing that you said yesterday, that doesn't even match up with what's happening now. I can tell it's just not authentic if you're paying attention, you know? So I think just the ability to really share what you're doing and how you're feeling and the changes that you're experiencing and all of that is genuine, you know, it's real. And it's not just salesy. So it feels good to you and it feels good to the people that are watching you. So what's your guys' thoughts on how we've changed things up over the last year? Shalene gave a great presentation at Summit last year about curiosity marketing that I think the network needed to hear. A lot of us were in Social Team Builder already at that point, so we kind of were already making that transition, but a lot of the network wasn't yet. So I think her talk was really timely. But what do you guys think, like our team as a whole, do you think we've been doing a better job? Are we feeling more comfortable with that method versus our old school bad habits?
I mean, I've only been April last year, and I've never seen anybody post something from our immediate team that I've been like, that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Be associated with the product. So, I mean, I don't know what necessarily. Hi. I don't know what necessarily was happening before, but I've never seen anything where I'm like, oh, please don't associate me with that.
Yeah. I think it was more just about, you know, constant like talking about the product versus, you know, what it's doing for you, you know, and that's just, it's not that attractive. And it's fun to tell your story, you know, people are attracted to stories. I actually just ordered a book. It's called Brand Yourself with a Story. Actually, Gary and Todd have talked about it a lot. And so I finally got it. And yeah, it's called Brand Yourself with a Story. And because what we have to remember too, I think the mistake that a lot of us made in the beginning is that we try to brand ourselves as Beachbody, and they have their own brand. They spend millions of dollars branding themselves. People know who they are, right? People know P90X and Insanity. We're our own brand. We are who we are. We represent ourselves. You know, we have these amazing products and the ability to basically put tools in people's hands to help them get their success. But we're our brand, right? People are attracted to us. They can order all these things off of Amazon. They can get them on eBay. You know, you're who they want to work with if you're being true to who you are. And that's why you start to attract the people that are like you. Like, it really does happen, and it's weird. But you'll notice, even if they're not necessarily committing, like I know Jocelyn, she experiences this all the time. It's people that are really like, they're all so similar. Like they're like the same person over and over and over again. So she's attracting her tribe. It's her tribe. They're not committing for whatever reason, because that's her people. Like they're just not committal. So that's something she's trying to, you know, work through on how to get through to them on the commitment side. But it's interesting, and it shows me that Jocelyn's really doing things right, because if it's the same, like literally it's the same person over and over and over again, even though it's different people. So that shows me she's really being authentic and consistent, because you can only fake it so long, right, until the real you comes out. So she's really being true to who she is, and you can tell because of the same type of people she's attracting. Same with Kim. You see it with her too. She attracts a lot of like people who are already into fitness. You know, they kind of like athletics already. You know, that's her jam. So it's just interesting how it works. Gina, obviously, she can talk to moms of young kids. You know, I know Jenna has kids too, but everybody uses their platform differently. You know, Gina has her kids out there a lot, Jenna not so much. And, you know, that's something new for her. So she's, you know, kind of treading through those waters and figuring out how she wants to leverage her social media. And that's, you know, that's something you have to figure out as you go along, and how much you want to share and not share and all that kind of stuff. So but it is interesting, like the more unique you are and the more true you are to yourself, and really sharing what you're doing, it's all a part of that attraction / curiosity marketing, and it really helps to draw people to you. And it all comes down to consistency, really, more than anything else. So I get excited with curiosity marketing because I think it's fun. Like, it lets you be creative, which I guess if you're not creative, that might suck, but I think it's fun. And if you're not creative, you'll eventually figure out how to be creative. So good personal development is going to be key for that. And just, growing in confidence and, you know, knowing that you know enough to share. I think sometimes we get into our own way when we feel like we don't know enough to share. You know enough to share. If you're doing it, you know enough to share, you know.
And that's the beauty of the branding. You're not only sharing stuff about the products. You can share about all sorts of stuff in your life to connect with people. And that's where that's what we were failing at doing in the beginning.
Yeah.
Trying to just be Beachbody.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah.
I can see though where it can still get confusing. I hope you guys can hear me because I keep getting messages. My microphone's out. Okay. So I'm going to ignore
Better
that.
than ever, actually. Great.
Yay. But I think it can still get confusing. I know that Beachbody as a company is leaned more towards the curiosity marketing, but yet if you really follow like Carl and the messages that he sends out saying, oh, do this and, you know, we'll pick certain people, and everything is always tag this program, tag that, include this in your message. So it gets I can see where it can be really confusing, especially if you're new to, okay, wait a minute. The company's saying do this, but I'm hearing do this. And it's hard to balance those two, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember that he is Beachbody. That's his brand.
Corporate.
That's his market. So he's coming from that standpoint, and he can come at that standpoint because he's the creator of it.
Absolutely.
So you have to take it all with it, you know, with a grain of salt and doing your other training to know how to incorporate that. And it's not to say that you can never name drop.
Right.
It's the fact that we were, like she said, every day had our Shakeology cup in front of us or stuff like that. It's not, people are going to want to know what you're doing. And you do want to stand out and let them know it's not its works or, you know, and all that other, there's so many other things out there. So it's not to say that ever that you can't name drop.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our t-shirts that have different stuff on it when we're working out. I mean, there's ways of doing it even without saying what you're doing. And that's part of the curiosity market. So. And
it's all the way you position it too. Like, I know, you know, like Insanity Max 30, for example, I maxed out. Like, people are gonna be like, what the heck is that? Like, what are you talking about? You're maxing out, you know, what does that even mean? And it opens up conversation. Shift Shop, right? You have your little markers. What the heck are those things that you're using? You know, what does that even mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it just lets you be a little creative and it opens up conversation, which is great. And sometimes I know for me, like in the past, I'd go into conversations thinking, okay, like I just went into it almost with like I was already ready to duke it out kind of thing, like when the conversation started. But really, if someone's taking the time to message you, to ask you questions, they are interested, right? So it's just a matter of honestly sharing what you're doing, you know, and what you're gaining from it and how, you know, you're seeing success. And sometimes people, I think research shows that people have to hear something, seven times or something like that before they finally commit to it. So we're so scared of the no, but honestly, the no's, number one, no's make us better. So no's are actually a good thing. Lindsay, I'm in this group right now with Lindsay and Melissa McAllister, and they had this challenge week before last to get as many no's as possible. Like the goal was to get no's, which was really kind of like a different goal, but they gave out prizes for the people that got the most no's. Because no's make you stronger. You know, they make you feel more confident. I know that once you feel like you're equipped to handle objections, which is why objections is one of the topics that we cover in our Coach Basics training, because once you feel like you can tackle an objection, you feel like you're comfortable, you can do anything, because the objection we try to take it personally, but it's totally not personal. You know, it's either lack of understanding, not seeing the value in it yet, or the person's genuinely just not ready, like themselves, like personally, they're not ready to make the commitment, you know, and sometimes we think it's us and it's not us. You know, people sometimes have to be in a certain mindset before they're ready to invest and commit and say, you know what, I'm tired of saying I'm going to do this and not doing it. You know, now is my time. And that takes people a while. Sometimes people take like a year to commit, you know. But I think the thing to remember too, as you're doing this curiosity marketing and being consistent, always remember that you are planting seeds for future months, right? So it never fails, like that you will have people 3 months from now that you originally started the conversation with, you know, this month, that'll be part of, you know, who you connect with that month. So, but if you only are there for a week and then you're like, this isn't working for me, and you throw your hands up, like you're kind of just proving them right. You know what I mean? Like it takes a long time to stick with something. We have no problem sticking with school and all these different things that we do long term, but we just won't do it for ourselves and our own businesses. And it's kind of like, don't do that. You know, hang in there. Like it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And it's going to take some time, you know, but it's really fun. And it's, you know, challenging in a way that makes you grow, which is scary sometimes, but ends up being awesome. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of curiosity marketing. I don't like feeling salesy. Now that we're not doing it anymore, I'm just like, oh. Like right now, my manager at my new job, banking is so different now. Like there's no foot traffic in banks anymore. So you have to cold call and all this stuff. And like, so we're like, oh, we're going to, you know, walk up and down the block to the businesses and hand out our info. And I'm just like, oh, it's so gross. And like, now that I know not to do that in my own business, I'm like, this is so gross feeling. I just do not want to do this at all. Like we should enroll in STB, the whole bank. So, any thoughts? Y'all are quiet tonight. Very quiet.
That's a good strategy, and I think it's just all that's something we have to keep working towards and getting. It's not going to come overnight.
Yeah.
And it might not even be consistent. You might have a really good post at some point, and then it's just a trial and error.
Yeah. Oh, everybody's going to have some crappy posts. That's like part of the hazing.
Yeah. Curve.
Yep. If we were to all go back and like audit our social media like from 3 years ago, we'd probably be like, oh gosh.
I think that's where the Insta stories and Facebook stories are really good, because then they're only up for 24 hours.
It's true. Yeah.
So that's a good way to practice.
Yeah, it is. And I remember Shalene, she said one time, because she was big on Snapchat, you know, like a year ago, and Instagram kind of took the place of Snapchat. But you know, one of her points was it teaches you how to talk in sound bites, which is really cool because you're just giving a little bit of information. It's not overwhelming. You know, it lets people see your personality, which is, you know, kind of cool. You don't see that in a still photo, which is why live video is great too, because it lets people know who you are. They can hear the passion in your voice, the excitement, you know, the humor if you bring that in, all that kind of stuff. It just lets people get to know you on a different level than just a still photo with some text, you know, so it's kind of fun. And, you know, doing an Instagram story, like showing yourself scrolling through on demand and all these programs are flying by and you're like, oh yeah, my fitness Netflix is cool. You know, that's curiosity marketing. Like, what are you talking about? You know, it's just as simple as that. Giving enough information, but not everything where people are like, oh, let me just go on Amazon and order that right now. And then I don't have anybody but some stranger to support me. Which happens all the time.
Yeah.
I think Gina had that this month, actually.
Mm-hmm.
My sister had that too happen this month. She's like, my friend ordered it. I'm like, welcome to the reality of it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, what are you doing? Like, why did you order from me? It was, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, and it has so little to do with like the points or the income or anything like that. It has so much more to do with like you want to be connected to that person and support them. Like the income is, you know, obviously awesome. We want that too. But it's like you're like, you're going to get connected to some stranger coach that they're just going to assign you to, and it's not going to be me. Like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? But they don't get it. You know, they don't get it.
They don't know what they don't know.
Mm-mm. No. And sometimes you can get them to switch over. Usually you can get them to switch over, but
Yeah.
by that time, some of the random, you know, hooty-doo's gotten your commission and your points.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all good. You know, at the end of the day, like we should be focusing on providing value anyways, and, you know, it's going to end up paying off. So That's kind of the summation of our topic tonight, guys. I just wanted to touch on what it is, how to do it. Like Gina said, you know, it's not against the rules to never say anything about anything specifically, because then no one will ever know what you're doing, you know, but that's kind of like the exception versus how we used to do it back in the day. I'm telling, if you go through, Jenna, like to all of our profiles like 3 years ago, you'd be like, oh gosh, another chocolate Shakeology, like great for you.
Yeah, I used to hand out the pamphlets at work and all sorts of stuff. It got me some, but you know.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, it's so much more fun to do it this way, really. Especially now, you know, a lot of us are doing the ads and things like that. So it's just, you know, it just brings different eyes to your page and new, fresh, I don't want to say fresh meat. That sounds wrong and horrible, but fresh people. fresh people.
Grow your market.
Yeah. Grow your market. Exactly. I know, so Adrian, you might be able to help with this because I know Jenna has some concerns on how much she chooses to share because of the job that she has. And I know that you have that kind of similar situation. So what's the best advice you can give on that in terms of like your profession and how to monitor as far as what you share? I know you just took a bite, sorry.
What's the profession?
I mean, I really haven't delved too deeply in my coach page yet on
Even just your personal page, just in general, like posting.
I mean, I try to usually keep it pretty light. I try not to share sort of the dark and heavy stuff. Like a lot of my coworkers will share like wrongful conviction posts and like the super heavy stuff that is sort of a sort of a downer, to be completely honest. Like just really the hard stories of like people who are in prison and really shouldn't be, and there's all this evidence to the contrary and the courts don't care and like blah 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 blah. Like I just tried not to go down that road. I try to keep it light. I try to keep it friendly and like approachable for everybody so that I don't pigeonhole myself into a corner of like I'm aggressively only this or that.
Right. But
So,
do you have your personal page public?
No,
You don't? It's private?
private. So I'm starting. You what?
That's where my struggle comes in because I know clients look for me and have searched for me, and I'm like, there's boundaries for a reason, and I don't need you knowing my personal life. Some of them are crazy, which I'm sure you have some crazy people. And I'm like, I don't.
So
think
you can set it so that you can be searched for, but just not like that people. I mean, well, I think that's just the basic private setting. Like I don't have it where people can't search for my name at all. But like when they do and they get to my personal page, like they can't see anything except my very basic stuff. Now everything that's on my coach page, they'll be able to see.
Yeah, if they can find that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but for me, frankly, all of my clients are in prison and they can't get on Facebook. So I'm not that worried about them per se, like family members, prosecutors, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, whatever. If a prosecutor wants to look me up, that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah. You do counseling, Jenna?
Yeah, but that's, I mean, when your clients can, I mean, I used to do just regular criminal defense and my clients used to friend request me all the time. Like, yeah, hard pass. Thanks. No.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that in one of my nursing groups.
Your patients won't request you?
No, this girl she's like, I just had a patient do it. And she's like, should we do it? It was like a million of us like, no. You know? Then I was like, what type of patient is it? You know, some of them I do if they're like, but my field was a little different, you know, but then there's some you're like, oh, heck no.
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah, it's interesting because like Kim, Gina, and Jocelyn are all kind of in the healthcare industry. And then, you know, obviously Adrian's on the legal side. And then, you know, you work with people on a privacy level, really. You know, for me, I just deal with bank people, so I can't give out their account numbers, but I could care less about what they see, you know. I just
I
can't
have to
put out
think
their
about
social
what-
and account numbers.
Yeah, we have to think about the hospitals or the systems following us too, because I know mine has been following me.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to make sure you're professional and
Mm-hmm.
not doing anything too cray. Because I still am on the fence with that whole how your Facebook thing
I know.
can jeopardize your job. I'm like, it's my personal life. Who cares?
Yeah. Especially
But,
if you're not like, you know, it's not like you're out there running amok in Vegas or doing something crazy. Like,
But even if you were, you're on your own time.
it's true.
That's my part. But I'm like, I don't fully buy into that.
Yeah. I guess because you're the face of the company.
Only when I'm on the clock. That's how I look at it. I'm like, you ain't paying me for the rest of the time. So
This is true. Yeah, I know, I'm with you, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Like, I know businesses have had a challenging time, you know, as social media has become what it is, you know. They
yeah.
have to look at it from a professional standpoint too. But you're right. I mean, it's your personal life, and as long as you're not misrepresenting the company, like, what's the
I'm
problem?
not doing something illegal or something. But
Right.
and I still think it needs to be a case by case thing.
Yeah.
Like we had one that was threatening some politician or something,
Mhm.
and the community spoke out because they knew he was an employee,
Mhm.
so they had to deal with it. I'm like, that sucks because had nothing to do with the company. Why are you attacking the company? It's the idiot.
Yeah.
He wasn't saying in the name of this
Right.
hospital, you know. I'm like,
Mhm. But I think it's a pretty common concern. Like, I know Sarah, she had a difficult time when she first became a coach because her husband has like a top secret job at the Pentagon. So, you know, he's not even allowed to have social media, and hers has to be, you know, she can't put out certain details, which, you know, makes sense. But I remember when she first became a coach, you know, she really struggled. She wasn't sharing anything at all, like pictures of herself, like nothing. And, you know, I think now that she's been doing it a while, she's gotten a lot of clarification from like Shelby's job as far as what he can put out there and what he can't put out there. And it's, you know, less scary, but she, you know, she's still cautious about what she puts out. There's some people in our social team builder training that they're not comfortable with putting their kids out, their faces and stuff. So they find really kind of creative ways to share their kids, you know, pictures of their feet hanging out of the cart at the grocery store, or, you know, their little hands on their mini dumbbells or whatever it might be. You know, you can still showcase the fact that your kids are part of your life without necessarily divulging their, you know, privacy if that's not something you want to do. Because some people don't want that, and it's understandable, you know, or maybe they'll sprinkle them in very occasionally. Same with husbands. Like, you rarely see my husband on my social media because he doesn't like it, you know. Every so often he's in there, he'll let me put up a picture or whatever, but generally I don't put a lot of him out there just because he's not comfortable with it, but just enough so people know he's around, you know. Yeah, I think, you know, you just have to do what's comfortable and, you know, just try different things and see how it feels. And, you know, if it's not working, then it's not working. And like we talked about, you know, it's kind of the nice thing about the business page. It's so different than your personal page, and it lets you have a little bit more freedom, you know, once you get to that point where you want to have that going as well. I think in the beginning, you know, your warm market is a pretty good market typically to be able to tap into. So you don't really have to worry about, you know, being exhausted of your warm market in the very beginning. You'll get there, you know, you'll have to move away from them eventually, but you don't have to do it right in the beginning. Yeah, thank you, Adrian. I meant to ask you that actually in the group, and I forgot. So helpful. So I do want to recognize Jenna for pulling her Band-Aid off last night and making her first formal challenge group invite post, which was exciting. I know it's scary to do that, but she did it, you know, and that's great.
I'm just gonna post that picture for everything where I'm like, just make my profile picture. Like, oh god.
And that's honestly, that's some of the stuff that's kind of fun to share in the beginning. Like, you know, this is really scary, but I'm really excited about it, you know, kind of thing. And it really just lets people know like what you're doing and how you're feeling. And, you know, I think sometimes we're scared of being who we are and putting out anything but like unicorns and rainbows, but life isn't like that, you know, and people want to hear the ups and the downs. So yeah, let you be human. All right, guys, any other thoughts? Is anybody doing 80-day with Today Show, or are we all, I think Jocelyn is, aren't you? She's muting herself.
Are you starting over, Jocelyn?
Mm.
Oh, because some people were talking about starting over. I was like,
Yeah. She's still muted. You're muted.
Found it.
There we go.
I couldn't find unmute. It like disappeared. Now I'm in the group just to kind of see, but I'm not starting over. So.
I don't think you have to. I think Autumn said you don't have to anyways.
No, you don't. You just can't. Like, she's not going to comment because they want to follow. And I'm not following the Time Nutrition anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I joined the group just to kind of see what.
I'm in it too.
In there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all just needed a little bit of a break.
I was debating on it, but I'm going to be traveling 3 out of the 4 weeks next month. So
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm like, oh, well.
It's a tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still doing 80-day. I'm not going
Right.
to quit it. Yeah, I'm still doing it, but
I decided I was going
time
to,
for, lift.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick to it.
Yeah. I quit it. I needed a break. I needed some shorter workouts for a while. I was like, I love the program. Like it's great. And I was nervous about changing, and this is going to be one of my posts tomorrow, but I was nervous about changing because I have people doing it, like my customers doing it. And so I didn't want them to feel like they had the excuse to quit. Because I did my round one, like you do your round one, it's round two that I'm quitting. But I was a little apprehensive about stopping it because I never want to feel like I'm quitting on something. But I think, we all talked about it in the beginning, just committing to a 90-day program it's a long-term commitment. That was a great accomplishment that we all were able to get through that and see such amazing success. And it's time for something different for a few weeks.
You have to listen to your body. That's an intense program.
It is.
So there's nothing wrong with taking a break from that. I mean,
Yeah. Not that Max 30 is any less or Shift Shop's any less intense, but
it is, but it's a different type of intense because it's not all the heavy weightlifting and stuff. There's a different stress that comes with that. It's like bodybuilders. You still need to do a mix up of cardio. And I think that's why I'm really excited about Lift.
Mm-hmm.
Is because it's 4 days, which means more rest time with the weightlifting, which means on those other days I can go for a run or a walk or do a different program if I want to without feeling, because I like the weightlifting ones. I like Body Beast and all that stuff, but it is a different stressor on your body when you're doing weightlifting, heavy weightlifting 6-7
days a week. Mm-hmm.
So
Lift will be a good one. I think I'm excited for
that's
it.
why like 21 Day Fix and stuff, when they're shorter, even 22 Hardcore, when they're shorter, it's not as much stress on your body, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't feel it as much as those other ones. A full hour, I'm like, yo.
As much as I want to die with Shanti, like all this week, I'm like, he makes me want to die, but I'm like, dude, that was 30 minutes. Like I'm done already, especially coming out of the 80-day obsession. Like these are so fast. It's crazy.
This morning, I was like, I felt like I was telling my husband, I said, I feel like I'm starting over every time I start with Shanti. It's like, I feel like a freaking newbie. Halfway through the warm up, I'm dying. And I'm like, I said, man, did I decondition this much?
I know. Yeah. Well, and so I built my hybrid because I'm basically hybriding. I am doing some 80-day obsession still, but I'm mainly doing Max 30. So I have 1 to 2 days max of 80-day obsession during the week, but mainly it's Max 30. And so when I was hybriding it, I have this tool that I use online. And so I put in, I'm advanced and I want to do this and blah, blah, blah. And all of the workouts that it gave me for Max 30 are all from month 2. So they're all like the crazy ones. And so all week I'm like, oh gosh, I went from doing like 2 days of cardio a week for the last like 4
Yeah.
months to like cardio.
When
every
you went to stage 2. Oh my goodness. Because when
Yeah.
you quit that month, you're like, oh my goodness, what happened?
like Sean's on drugs. I don't know what's happening right now. But it's good. I feel really good this week. It's a nice change up.
I was thinking that Lyft was starting next month, but it goes on sale on the 11th, but
Yeah.
it doesn't actually
July 16th, I think it is.
start until July. So now I'm like, oh crap. I
Mhm.
could have kept up with the Insanity Max and probably would have been finished by then.
Yeah.
So I'm looking into doing like a 30-minute one of those programs, probably Insanity, so I don't have to worry about what time the gym opens and all that.
Yeah. Non-equipment.
Every day
Yeah,
my
it has been
schedule
nice this week not
fluctuates.
having to use any equipment, I have to say.
Mhm. Especially traveling.
Mhm.
Although her equipment wasn't hard, but it was the weights.
Mhm.
So depends on what time of day my day starts, because the hotel gym wouldn't open till 5, and then you have an hour-long workout.
Exactly.
And they're like, "You're gonna be down by 6:15."
I'm just finishing my workout at 6. Yeah. I think this will work nice too, because with Summit, like it would be tough to be
Yeah,
doing a weightlifting program, with Summit. So
I thought about that too.
yeah.
Although we all kind of get off during that time because we're doing the live programs and
Mhm.
running ragged.
And then the super workout Saturday morning. Yeah. It's really like Thursday is really the only day that you're going to do a traditional workout anyways, if you do one. So, all right, guys. Well, we can call it a night. Like I said, June's a big month, so set your intentions. Whatever you didn't do this month, just tomorrow's a fresh month. It all starts over. So, never have that minimalist mindset where whatever didn't go right this month carries into the next one. Just some brand new opportunities, brand new people. Anything that didn't happen can happen. It's all fresh slate tomorrow. So turn your planner and look at your clean sheets and do the dang thing. So that is all for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow virtually.